welcome to another episode of Being Me with Anushri. And here we explore the emotional journey of our guest, how they created their achievements in life using all the emotional tools that have been available to them. And this episode has been sponsored by Eclairs Bakery, a celebrity baker from Gurgaon who have showcased her unique collection in the Netflix series Made in Heaven Part 2. When vulnerability is mistaken for a weakness, some retreat, but others use it as a stepping stone, a springboard for transformation, to create an impact, to change the lives around them through the power of choice. And today, in my series, we are going to deep dive with my guest, her emotional journey where she has created legacy through the power of choice. Our guest today is Executive Director of BNI Gurgaon and Faridabad, a lady who is a true testament to the power of courageous leadership. That is none other than Aarti Kochar. Aarti began her BNI journey in 2011 as a member seeking to grow her business. By 2013, she had already risen to the role of Executive Director. Since then, under her dynamic and value-driven leadership, BNI Gurgaon and Faridabad has become one of the top regions in India, growing to 31 chapters and 1,700 plus thriving entrepreneurs. Her influence extends far beyond her region. Aarti serves as a District Director Support for BNI India, where she leads the best practices team, shaping systems and culture across the country. Globally, she was handpicked for the Founders Circle and Innovation Task Force at BNI Global, the roles that she held until 2023. Her work hasn't gone unnoticed. Aarti has been honored with the prestigious Core Value Givers Gain Award, personally presented by the CEO of BNI, a powerful recognition of her commitment to the service and growth. She is not just a leader but a catalyst, choosing courage over comfort and helping thousands to do the same. Welcome to another series of Being Me with Anushri, which is sponsored by a celebrity baker from Eclairs Bakery, where they bake out of love. So today, as given in the intro, our guest is Aarti Kochar, Executive Director of BNI Gurgaon and Faridabad, a lady who inspires and leads everyone around her, and a truly an example of how a person can be a gift to people around you. So welcome, Aarti ma'am, to my podcast, Being Me with Anushri. How does it feel?
It actually feels really amazing because we've been planning this for a long time, and I'm so blessed that we finally are here in Trivandrum doing this. It's very special.
Thank you so much. And yes, it's kind of a manifestation that I did. So yes, but thank you so much for being a contribution that who you are. So we know you, everybody knows you as Aarti ma'am, a leader, an inspiration, and whatever you have created, more than history, we would call it as a legacy that has been created, which inspires other people to step up and out-create their own self, right? My first question to you is, who's the real Aarti?
That is rather overpowering. First, when you say all this, and then you ask me, who's the real Aarti? So I don't know. Aarti, I'm me. I'm a very simple person, actually. And this was not something that I had imagined or planned for my life. But the doors kept opening and the path kept being shown to me. And in that path, I've actually been blessed to be able to be a catalyst for a lot of people to achieve their dreams and, achieve the vision that they had set for themselves, or help them find that little path which will set them on their way. And most of the time, actually, Anushri, it just happens. I'm just having a conversation with someone, and the conversation leads to them having an aha moment. And it's not something that's planned, it's not something that's there, but truly a gift from God that I'm being able to work with people and help them find their path.
Wow, that's something really very, I would say, very like being connected to the root kind of a thing, a very grounded emotion, I would say, because most of the people, what like lot they get overwhelmed by the situations around them, the conditions that we all go in life, and like how we say, the situations they tame you and create a kind of they play a role in your life. So I would like to know, I mean, in fact, my viewers would also like to know, like, how did the journey start in BNI? A short
Oh,
snippet.
I know it's a long. So the journey started when I actually joined in to represent my own business, which was a behavioral consultancy. And the path that just kept opening up was first I was a little doubtful, but then I was, I understood that there's a bigger picture which I could not see. And I decided to be part of the whole BNI process. And at that time, it was just starting off in Gurgaon. There were no chapters at that time. So I attended the first info meeting. And by the time I responded and I said, yes, I want to be part of it, I was told my category, a category very close to it, was already, taken in the chapter, and it would not be possible for me to be part of that chapter. At that moment, I decided, I said, well, I'm going to take the leap of faith and I'll be the first member of the second chapter. And that's how the journey started. And it was as a member. I was the first president of the chapter. It was just, the more you start getting involved and meeting people, the more your world opens up. Because you suddenly see there's so much more than you had expected. And the connections started being made, the friendship started happening. And then there was an opportunity where things were at a stage in Gurgaon where they needed someone to step up and take over the franchise and look after the region. At that point, I worked with Rakesh, my husband, convinced him he was not that fond of BNI at that point. So convinced him that look, you come in with the business acumen, you come in with that. Yeah. And I come in with my side of my, the behavioral consultancy, the leadership skills. So let's work together on this. And it took us time. It was a leap of faith. But our focus was, let's give back to society. And let's help people achieve their dreams. And that's the focus we started with. Okay. And from, the point where we took it over with about 150 people, we are now at 1,650 people. So,
and growing.
And growing. And the joy comes when you hear somebody comes up to you and says, you know what, this is how BNI changed me. This is how I managed to crack the biggest deal. That training we attended that time, because of that, I did this. Wow. And it's changed my life. So that is success for me, when somebody else achieves their goals.
Absolutely, ma'am. It's so amazing to listen to that. But I have a question here.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Which is like, as we say, a mind can be a person's worst enemy, or it can be the best tool that can be used.
Right.
And how you do that, like, in my field of energy healing and emotional health, we always focus on, and we facilitate people to be focused on being present.
Right.
So I would like to know, like, taking a small thing out of what you shared, that moment when you were asked to take the role of executive director. It's a very big role. It's like taking the responsibility. Right. So did the monkey mind work for you? And
of course, it always does.
Did you have fears? Were you into like the pros and cons? Usually most of the entrepreneurs, when we take a big business decision, the fear kicks in first, right? Because we have this presumptive reality around us where people do pour in their opinions. Restrictions are more rather than motivation, I would say. True. Especially, as a part of the culture that we grow up. So how did you tackle that? Like, did you write things down? Did you discuss it with Rakesh sir?
We had a lot of discussions. We went up and down with the whole thing. But so my life journey has been, quite strange, ups and downs, most unexpected. We hit crisis moments just when you don't expect it to happen. Everything is going smooth and then something would happen. And in the journey, as I was going through, one of the things that happened to me was I was given a chance by someone. And it was somebody who just trusted me blindly to be able to rise up to what was the expectation and to be able to do whatever is required. And this is actually my behavioral consultancy work, because when I landed up in the interview by chance, and when I was going through this whole thing, I said, I don't have all the qualifications that is required for this particular role. And they said, doesn't matter. We can see that spark in you, and we think you'd be a great fit.
Wow.
So we are taking that chance on you. And that's when I realized in life, sometimes you've just got to take the chance and jump in. It may work, it may not work. But if you don't try, it's not going to happen. And that's the other, that's also one of the things that I follow right now, is give people a chance. Give someone a chance. You never know what
contribution
you could actually be for them in their lives, right? So yes, the monkey mind is there. It says, don't do it. What are you doing? What are you getting into? But there's also that feeling, but I can make a difference.
Yeah.
I can do something which will help someone, right? Yeah. And so we started, and then it gradually grew on us. We had to create a team. BNI is a team game. It cannot be done alone. It cannot work alone, because it's all about people working together, being there for each other. And that's what's the power of BNI.
Yeah.
And that's, that we have the most amazing team in Gurgaon.
Like, it reminds me of a very famous quote that leadership is not a role. It's a journey where you hold hands of the people and walk along and explore and experience and create together and greater.
Yeah.
So that's the quote that came to my mind.
I have on my team, really. I think they're the ones who taught us a lot. They come with their experiences. They come with their journeys. And every person you meet gives you something. It's up to you whether you take that learning, you take that knowledge, you take that experience and make it count. Yeah. So as you said, you've got to be open to receive it. So that's what makes it work for us, because we were open to that. We were open to learning, and we grew together. And instead of just becoming a group of people, we became a community. And I think the power of this, this community, we actually saw during the pandemic years.
Yes.
Right? When we realized how much we are there for each other. And since then, it's just grown more and more and more. And the roots have grown in deeper with people. So yes, everybody joins BNI for their business. But it's the other intangibles which really change your life.
Yes, absolutely. I completely agree with you on that, because I've had personal experiences where I wasn't there, but a fellow member who turned up and has been there for me. And yes, my best friends now are also from BNI.
That's because you have to meet them every week.
Yeah, they help me to, we co-create. So co-creation is one of the essence in BNI. And I have seen that the mindset of, okay, what contribution can I be? What can I get to the table? That really boosts up the game. It really motivates you within yourself to be a part of the entire concept of community of BNI. My question to you here is that, since you mentioned about receiving, what is receiving for you?
Receiving for me is truly being open to all the experiences that are there and the blessings that are there. And they come in a lot of different ways. They're not always so obvious. It's very subtle, and somebody says something to you, somebody shares something with you. Sometimes some of the stories people come and share with us about their life journeys, about what they've done. And then you realize you're being blessed by them. You actually, because just the fact that they can come to you and share what is in the deepest part of their heart without hesitation.
And with trust.
That means that they're blessing you with their trust.
Absolutely.
Right? So that is what a blessing is. It doesn't have to be a formal blessing. It's just about being open to all that positive energy that's around us and making the most of it. And do we all have tough moments? Of course we do. Do we have moments when we get upset with people? Of course we do. I mean, that is part of life, right?
Yes,
but
absolutely.
It's also about accepting, okay, this is happening. Where do I find my path? Where is my response? I'm not going to react. I'm going to respond to the situation, right?
Absolutely.
And that sometimes means taking a step back, literally biting your tongue and, saying, okay, hold on there. But that's one of my biggest learnings from BNI, because I used to react a lot. And now I've realized you can't react. You've got to respond. Everybody has something going on in their lives.
And most of the time, in the wildest of possible ways, we can't think, oh, this is happening with this person.
But sometimes they can have, why can't they do this? Why are they, what's the problem? And then you hear what they're actually going through and why did I say that? They needed us to give them that little time. Yes. So that's something that we have to learn.
Wow. That's really a good takeaway. So, Ma'am, 2013, you started your journey as the first.
No, 2011.
2011, as the first member of the Excellence chapter. And now it's been so many years. So, it's a very interesting question.
You're going to catch me on that. Okay.
Yes, because I feel this is, like I'm blessed to listen a lot and, my personal snippets of takeaways along with people who are watching us is that we talk about a concept of like, your inner self, right? So my question to you is, so many years, more than 1,700 members, 31 chapters, and we are growing, a legacy is created, and you have a beautiful team that has your back, right? Today, from being the executive director of BNI Gurgaon, Aarti Kochar, if she looks back to the member who started her first day taking the oath as a member, what is that thing that you would tell her, or the tips that you would tell her to be who she is?
Okay. So go all the way back to 2011. And I think I was a far more rigid person in the way I approached things, the way I did things. And maybe I didn't enjoy my journey as a member enough. So I would have just said, just enjoy it a little more. So as not only being the first member, but also the first president and sort of, setting the culture, I was very conscious of doing it right? But not always about, I was very focused on the process. So right now, if I could go back and tell the younger or the first time member at that time, I'd say don't get so stuck on that. Enjoy the emotions that are being created around you a lot more. And don't get so focused on the process that you actually lose the fun, right? And that has been if you speak to a lot of the older members, been there a long time, one of the things they'll tell you is Aarti's chilled out a lot more. Earlier, she was not so chilled out about these things. Earlier, she would get hassled about these things. Now she says, it's okay. So I think taking things in my stride is something that I've learned over the years. And I realized that sometimes you think this is the most important thing, But actually, the bigger picture is not the most important thing. It's the least important thing. And because we're so focused on something small, we forget to enjoy what is happening around
And
us.
also, we miss out on the opportunities that are around us because it's like horse blinder.
Yeah, total.
More
So that's
people
what I would
follow
say.
us.
Just chill out a little
Chill
more
out a little.
and enjoy yourself.
Yeah. I think, ma'am, that is the true essence of being your own self, where you be yourself and having no point of view about anything, taking everything as an interesting
I
point of
think
view.
that's a journey that each one of us as individuals goes through. And at different speeds, at different times, based on our life experiences, based on what's happening around us. But it's that journey which it teaches you. These are the things I can let go. These are the things I need to focus on. This is where I need to be. And that's how you find yourself, right?
That's a wonderful share, to be very honest, because I was very curious to know that part when I asked the question that what would you tell the old Aarti? Because it's a journey that most of the time we as people, humans, we don't introspect the journey. We only either focus on the start point and where we have to reach.
Yeah.
But the journey that is the ups and downs and the good and bad, that we kind of forget.
Yeah.
But that's, as you said, is a journey that needs to.
Actually, that's the most important part of it.
Yes, that's the most important.
Because the beginning and the end can keep moving, can keep changing. But that's what you're going to remember is the journey, the impact you've had. I'm sure there are many people who are going to turn around and say, this is not the Aarti we knew. She's changed a lot. And I have changed. And I think that is what we have to be as human beings, ready to change, ready to move with the circumstances.
With receiving.
Yes. And as you learn, as you grow mentally, spiritually, emotionally, right?
Yeah.
And that is the journey which is worth memorizing, keeping, and sharing with others. So thank you for helping me share my journey.
You're welcome, ma'am, because I always believe in one thing, is that, which is a practice that I also use a lot, that even if you can't help someone, it's a moral responsibility that you be an inspiration for someone to step up. You might even not know other people or so many people around you, but then it's a commitment to your own self.
Yeah.
Where that is a way of, giving back. Maybe you,
True.
So many people come up and say, oh, you are such we were in BNI, INC, Kochi. And I met a member from Mumbai. She's into the digital marketing category. And we had an interesting 5-minute conversation. And in the evening when I was leaving, another doctor from Cochin, she came running to me and she said, the member from Mumbai, she said that you should meet her because she is like, I don't know, I find her vibe very magical. I was like, oh my God, thank you so much.
Yes.
So that I think you would have been, and especially, yes, my favorite, Rakesh sir. His one-liners are something which is like hitting the nail at the right spot.
Absolutely.
Which actually makes, like, my personal experience has been that it makes you think.
Yeah.
Like, all right, this is a perspective that can be thought upon.
Yeah.
So, here, ma'am, have you had experiences like this, and such kind of experience what we have in life where we are forced to think out of the box is when we have rejections. So have you faced rejections in your journey?
I think everybody faces rejection in some way or the other. It might not be an outright rejection, but it's when you're using the word rejection, it's like things not going exactly as you had planned and, working out as you'd planned. Yes, that happens with all of us.
How do you handle it?
So the first one, I think, was the biggest crisis that happened in our lives. You know about that. We had a medical situation in the house, which was literally life and death. And I was caught totally unawares, right? And at that point, I had to decide, how am I going to be, not just for myself, how am I going to support my family? How am I going to support my children? And when I'm talking about support, it's the emotional support, right? So how am I going to be there for them? What are they going to remember at the end of all this, right? It's very easy to let go. It's very easy to give up. It's very easy to just say, okay, it's out of my hands. But the other side of it is, how can you be the strength for the people around you? It might be in small things. It might just be in keeping that smile on the face. It might be supporting them with some knowledge. It might be just being the shoulder for them to lean on. But that is when you create that power within yourself, right? It takes a lot. It was a long journey. It was a difficult journey. There were times when I did reach a breaking point. But at the end of the day, I knew that I can overcome this, right? And it's not for myself. It's because I need to be there for everybody around me, right? And they need me to just be there. So you can't give up. So the biggest thing in life is don't give up and always give somebody a chance. And be open to opportunities, because I truly believe in what they say, that if one door closes, a lot of other doors open. But you have to keep an eye out for those doors.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
And then even if they scare you, you have to take that step. Right? Move towards it. There's sometimes when yesterday when we were talking and you said, you were asking me about the life journey, and I suddenly realized that a lot of these paths just came on their own. They were not what I had thought of. They're not what I had planned. But one step leads to the next, right? So be open to that. Be strong, because inside you, you have an inner strength that nobody can take away. And each one of us has that. And most importantly, be kind.
Yeah.
Be kind, be nice to people. Because that one smile that you give to somebody who's having a bad day, it changes their day.
Lord.
Right? So be kind to people. You never know what they're going through.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So how did you handle the self-talk? How do you motivate your own self?
So everybody in my family thinks I am slightly off because I talk to myself. I just say that, this is you. This is what you got to do. This is what you've got to achieve. And whose help do you need?
Okay.
And I actually ask myself this, whose help do you need? Who do you think you should reach out to right now? Because you know what? When you put out a hand, somebody will help you. Most of us are scared to actually ask for help because they think it makes us vulnerable. Yes. It shows our weakness. Yes. But if you are ready to ask for help, you become stronger.
I completely agree to you on that, because yesterday while we were discussing, we had a long conversation which was within itself rather more than inspiring. It was like eye-opener. I would say that, because we as humans we rarely count our blessings. We do say we do, like, thanks to the WhatsApp, Instagram, universities, and WhatsApp, a lot of motivational messages around. But some moment in life where you just hold yourself back, especially in the low phase, where you have a choice. Either you get into a depressive state, or either when you stand up and say that, okay, this is it. What can I do here? And what else is possible for me here? So in that conversation, one thing that I realized, that you are a person who have really made vulnerability your superpower. People take it as a weakness. They say that, you should not be vulnerable. You would be misused, or people will take advantage of you, and, you should not let out your emotions and all of that. And because of all that side talks, we kind of disconnect with our own self, because we also have an image to protect that we put on. But through the conversation that we had, I always
believed in this thing that vulnerability is your superpower. And with your life experience, it was an eye opener that, oh yes, wow.
But one must remember that you have to be careful with whom you're vulnerable.
Whom you are vulnerable with.
And where you are.
Where you are, correct.
That you do have to keep in mind, because otherwise later you might regret something.
Yes.
So it's always better to keep that in mind, but be open to people.
Yes. My question to you is, when you were in a vulnerable state while you shared everything, the entire journey and all that was happening in behind, how did you handle yourself? Especially that episode.
So you know where my strength comes from?
Yeah.
My strength comes from Rakesh, right? He is my grounding person. He's also the wind beneath my wings, because no matter what he was going through, no matter what we were going through in life, he said, never let yourself go. And I'm always there for you.
Oh, that's
so
very powerful.
The important thing is find that person for yourself who's going to be there for you no matter what. That support. The person that you can reach out to at any time.
And you can be yourself.
I can tell you, we fight a lot, we argue a lot, we have a lot of fun together, but we know that we're there for each other no matter what. So Rakesh is my support, and he pulls me up, I pull him up. Together we pull each other up. We have our fights, we have our issues, but at the end of the day, we're there for each other. And that's so important. So find that person to support you. Find someone who's going to be there for you.
So I have a question from that. Most of the time in life, when we are not that confident about ourselves, we know that this is the exact thing that we need to do, which is, required out of us to do. But at that point of time, we need kind of assurance. Validation is a very negative word these days, especially. But that acknowledgement, that assurance, go ahead, I'm there.
Yeah.
Right? So has there been scenarios for you where you knew that, okay, 110%, this is what I need to do. But then you went up to Rakesh sir or your parents and you just needed that acknowledgement kind of a thing.
Yeah, I think that happens in everyone's life, right? I've had the support from Rakesh, of course. As I said, he's the wind beneath my wings. He's my grounding force. He's all that. But also from other members of my family. So straight away, my children. They have been amazing supports for me. In fact, if you ask me why did I get back into work, it was because my children told me that, Mom, we are going to grow up and go away. What are you going to do with your life? So they're the kinds of, the children actually sometimes tell you the truth, and they tell you things without you. They don't hide it from you. And they see you. They see you differently. And that's so important. So my children teach me. My children help me. They validate me. My family has been absolutely amazing. My parents, they gave us an amazingly strong foundation. Because I grew up in Assam, then I grew up in a boarding school. But the one thing they taught us was, you've got to be self-sufficient, you've got to be independent, and don't be scared of doing things. So take a chance, do things, right? Then, of course, life always does pull you back, and you get that little fear in you. But when I got married, my mom-in-law was another one. He said, Aarti, why can't you do it? Kisne bola nahi kar sakte? Karo. Right? So she was always there to support me, my dad-in-law. I mean, I think I've been truly blessed with all the members of my family, the kind of support we've had during our good times and our bad times. The family has always been there. And, when Rakesh was going through his most difficult medical issues, the way my brother-in-law and my brother supported me, I mean, they were amazing. You can't even dream of it. And that's when you realize the power of love and the power of having a family. So keep your family close. That's important.
Okay. So, ma'am, that's a very inspiring and touching story about your family, how they have your back while a lot of things are happening in your life. So, my question to you here is that who has been your role model where you look up to, or, where the, like sometimes we have that belief that, they said it, so I'll blindly do it.
Okay.
They are always going to be right for me.
Oh, wow. It's a tough one. Really, I haven't thought of that at all. But, I think I'd start straight away with maybe my grandmother, my Nani. She was a very inspiring person for me. She actually, I think, determined a lot of the ways in which I thought and I grew up, because they helped, they were there very, strongly during our growing up years. And the small things they teach you as when you're a child, it makes a lot of difference. It stays in your mind. So I would say my grandmother, my mother, my Marcies, very strong women, achieved a lot. So somehow when you talked about role model, I only thought of all the women in my life who've been amazing role models. And those are the people. So it's not necessarily somebody who's, a well-known figure or a well-known name, but I think it's within the people you're really interacting with. They're the ones who are, who become your inspiration. You become the people you want to be like.
Yes.
So
and they actually know your essence.
Yeah.
They are always like, they watch you from behind and by the side, and they just observe. And then sometimes it has been with my, experience in life also. They don't come and tell you until you ask.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think that's a kind of a trust that they have in you, that you'll do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So another question that I would like to ask is that, what is the mantra or quote or belief? Because you have been, into the leadership work since long time, and also as a behavioral coach, consultant. What is that one thing that drives you, or that mantra or the quote that is always at the back?
Always there in my mind.
Yes. Something that's very close to your heart, and it matches your essence of creation.
So it's actually a poem by a lady called Erin Hansen. It's a 4-line poem, but it's that last line which truly inspires me. Is the simple last line says, "What if you fly?"
Yes.
Right? And you've seen me quote that very often. For me, it's so important because our fears hold us back. Our doubts hold us back. We feel we are not good enough. Somebody's better than us. We can't do this. Ye humse nahi hoga. But what if you can?
Yeah.
What if you fly? So there were times when, I didn't know what all I could achieve and what I am achieving. It's actually, I don't look at it like that at all, right?
It's calculative or nothing.
There are times when I look back and say, oh, look how I've changed. Look what all I've actually been able to do, which I never thought I could do earlier, right? The kind of person I am. And then it comes back to my mind that what if I fly? Right. That's the quote that whenever I'm in a sort of difficult situation, I think of that one quote.
Wow.
And that's what changes it for me.
Powerful. That's very, very powerful, because one quote that kind of similar, which really inspires me and have really helped me to take maximum decisions in my life, is that it's important to be free rather than being right.
Right.
Because when you are free, the choices that you make, you're not held back by certain kind of emotions or anything, and you just create. You don't have to be where you're willing to be wronged.
Yeah.
Also, So, wow, that's a powerful conversation. So, Since we are talking about, motivating our own self and all, recognition is one of the core value in BMI.
Right.
So my question to you here is that how do you acknowledge yourself? Or, I mean, we all have ups and downs. We often seek it from others, and it really gives us a push in a positive way. That and also sometimes it's like a mirror of if they believe in me, why am I not believing in myself? So, how do you acknowledge your own self? Do you do tools like mirror talks or do you journal?
I talk to myself, yes. I do talk to myself. But I think it's just about when I get up in the morning and I take my first conscious breath, as sweetness, I do thank thank you for another day. Because, it is all about your breath and the fact that you're alive. And that's only what is going to make things happen for you. And I think having let's say, an attitude of pure gratitude without expecting anything in return, that is what is a tool which everyone should use. And it's a recognition tool even for yourself, because you're thankful for everything you've done, what you've achieved, of all the people around you. And that's what makes it so powerful. So keep giving gratitude and don't expect anything in return. That's what I would say is, the mantra that keeps me going. And when you said, how do I sort of recharge myself on that? I have a very busy mind. So sometimes it's very difficult, or most of the time it's impossible to meditate and put myself into that thing. So I do what is called Zentangling, where we do art. And it puts you into a meditative state. And that's the time when you get lost in your thoughts, in what is happening around you, in the art that you're creating while you're doing this. And you come out of that space feeling recharged and alive again. So instead of maybe speaking to myself or writing an affirmation, I do it through the art.
Creative way.
Yes.
That's really nice to know, ma'am. So I would like to know and ask you, what is your relationship with your body?
These days, not so good.
Because in being your own self, your body plays a key role.
Right.
Like how we say, me, my body, so that the relationship between body and the soul connection that is there. Yeah. So can you share something? Is it a very, how do I say, a very, that a naughty kind of a relationship where you're like, okay, I'm having this thing, buddy, just keep going. Or do you discuss things with your body? Or how do you acknowledge your body? Because in these times, we are seeing so many fancy things coming up in the market, and like how we were talking about yesterday about the IV boosters and all of that. So how do you maintain?
So I do believe in a lot of the flow of energy. And it's important for us to be allowing the energy to flow through our bodies without the blockages, right? So that's important. So now it depends on what works for people. Everybody has different tools that they use. So I have a tool, which is the Healy, which I use to just keep cleaning my body and making sure that I am fresh. And, that the things are working. The frequencies are working.
Yeah, that's very powerful.
I do tend to, mistreat my body in a lot of ways because, I do have some medical issues and then I forget about them and I go all out. But I think you just have to love who you are and just be comfortable with who you are.
Without any judgments.
Without any judgments. And that's what works. That's what, the minute you are comfortable with yourself in whatever shape and aura that you have, the way the world perceives you also changes, right? Because they can see that you are what you say you are and who you are the same.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
So that being comfortable in yourself is important, not trying to be somebody that you're not. And the minute you do that, whenever you walk into the room, people will feel your energy, they'll feel who you are. And that's how I work it. I'm just totally comfortable with who I am. And, a lot of people say, oh, I'm getting old. And I can't celebrate my birthday. I can't do this. I love every year that I have another birthday. The older I am, that means I've had the privilege to be alive so many years. Right? And everybody does not have the chance to say that. Every ache and pain that I have just lets me know that I've led wonderful 58 years and I've got lots more to go. It's about acknowledging your age, your body for what it is. And that, be comfortable with it. Love it for what it is.
Love it for what it is. Wow. So, Mom, since we spoke about recognition, now would like to know, we all would like to know about your roots, the traditions, like we say in BNI, and how you used the traditions, the core that we have received from our parents, from our family, to innovate your journey.
Oh, wow. That's a difficult one. So, we all grow up in our families with certain things that you're seeing being done by the elders, and you wonder why they're being done. So I was always very curious about why should we do this or why shouldn't we do that? And what is the purpose of those things? So one, I was blessed that my mother was very spiritual, also would give a good understanding of why certain things were done the way they were. There would be a scientific explanation or a reason for it. So it's not that you're doing anything in blind faith or superstition or anything like that. There's always clarity of why it should be done, right? One of the roots that we have within us is giving back or giving forward, right? We are blessed. No matter what life experiences we've had, very tough days, very beautiful days, whatever it might be, times when you actually wondered, why us, God? Why is this happening to us? But at the end of the day, when you look back, we're still so blessed because we have love, we have people around who are supporting us, and we have the means to make things happen for ourselves and for other people. So it's important that we give back, give forward, give our time, give, economic support, whatever it might be. My nanny used to tell me, she said 10% of whatever you earn must be given back. And that's, I think, an old tradition that we have in most of our Indian families, that you must give back because then you're showing that, gratitude. That dete jaoge to aata jayega. So she used to say, just time hoga to time dena, because that's the most precious thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Money anyone can give, but time not everyone can give. So, but give whenever you can and give without remembering. But when you receive without forgetting, because that's what's going to make you successful.
Wow. That's really, it connected a kind of a thread within myself, like how my mom always says that usually they used to say before is that one is you should never forget the roads that you have traveled.
Yes.
Right? The things are coming to you. That road you should never forget. Right. And the other thing, what my mom always says is that your left hand should not know what your right hand is doing when you're doing charity.
Charity.
It should be like that.
I don't like to use the word charity. I say gratitude.
Gratitude,
Gratitude is what
and it's a very powerful thing that you said also, ma'am. It's actually a very important thing because time is very, very precious, especially in this era where we are doing multiple things at the same time. But in some way or the other, when we help other people to step up and to create something that really makes a difference in their life. Ma'am, as you have shared your life journey, and we have had amazing, conversation yesterday, and also even during the dinner time. So one thing that I have observed is that um, the giving plays a very, very big role, and you receive it double as well. So, has there been an episode in your life where, or moments when strangers or unexpected people played a key role in your growth, or in us also in any situation in your life? And yeah, so that's the first part of the question. And then we'll come to the second one.
So, strangers. It's surprising, but a lot of our lives are shaped by the actions of strangers. And when Rakesh was unwell and we had a situation where we needed constant flow of blood and platelets, all those things for him, we finally ran out within the family and the friends and whatever of the circles that we had for people to donate that. And one of the days this was before the WhatsApp days and before all that easy communication days.
Before BNI also.
Oh, way before BNI. And what we did was I just put out a little sign on my condominium, thing that I need, if anybody can come forward and donate blood and platelets, I would need help. And it was so amazing. I had a line of people who showed up, and I didn't know a single one of them. And I asked them, how did you come to know about this? They said, well, somebody's friend, somebody's sister, they posted it somewhere. Somebody put it on their company intranet site because somebody did something. And utter strangers were there to give blood, to give support, to give help. And it was so amazing to see that when people want to, they can be so selfless and are there to help each other. There's not a single person that I knew. I would get a message from the blood bank saying, ma'am, ek aur person aa gaya aapke liye donation ke liye. And I was like, from where, And I realized that, there are very many ways that we need to give back, right? And I may not be able to give back in a simple thing like maybe a blood donation or a help in that way. But how do I give back? And that has become one of, let's say the stones on which we work on, our foundation stones. How do we give back to society? How do we help? It's a matter of helping somebody. It doesn't matter how you help them, but it's helping someone.
Or
right?
with what you help.
Or with what you help them,
but
right?
It's just the
so
intent.
It's just that the intent, all actions are with the intent of how can this help someone?
And with gratitude.
Of course, with gratitude.
Yeah.
So when you talked about this, what made you take up BNI? And this was one of the things that actually made us think about taking up BNI, because we could give back a lot of our skills, our learning, and give back an opportunity to people so that they could change their lives.
Oh, absolutely, ma'am. I really resonate with what you say, because being 7-year-old member in BNI now and being on multiple roles, always it has been what different can be done here? And how can we make it bigger and greater than what it is?
Absolutely.
Because creation, it's a process. But one thing that I really focus on is that out-creation. Mm-hmm. Creating something greater and bigger than what you have already created. So and BNI has always given me that platform to outcreate my own self. Like whether it's a role, that's why I keep on telling people, like whoever I interact with, being on multiple roles like mentor, coordinator, mentor, and various roles that we have in BNI, the accountability factor or the commitment to that role is, it should be something bigger and greater than what you have already created, because that's kind of a contribution to the people around you.
Right.
Not just meeting the targets, not just meeting the numbers, but always that, like how I believe in that don't make history, create a legacy so that people remember you for that thing and they say that, oh, wow, I would like to do something like that.
Like that. Or even better.
Or even better, so that can inspire us back. So, ma'am, among this conversation that we are having, so what is that thing that you would like to share? Like you have seen, you have had so many years of experience with people, right? You have met different kinds of people, logical, emotional, practical. And with your personal experience, like how you beautifully shared, the strangers contributed to.
Right.
So, ma'am, what is your advice or tips to the listeners that as a human, how can you make out of a human connection? And how can you evolve as a human being?
Oh, that's really tough.
Sorry for throwing tough questions.
So I'd say the one most important thing is be kind. Be kind to people. Be kind. You don't know what's happening in somebody's life. And our instinct is normally to just react and say something which we may regret later. So sometimes just pause a bit. Think about, how you're approaching it. I know there are times when things, when the situations are stressful and we may even just say a word or a phrase which can really shatter somebody's hopes and dreams. So it's important to just think before you say it and just be kind to people. Because at the end of the day, what each one of us needs is that somebody's kind to us, right? And sometimes that kindness might just be as simple as a smile, a thank you, a recognition of that the person is there. You see them and you acknowledge them, right? It might be somebody, a stranger you're passing in a lift, but nothing harms them. You just smiled at them, right?
The person feels honored in a way.
So I think that's the strongest thing that you can do as a human being. Be kind to people and be open to receive kindness back from people, right? It's not a one-way street. It's a two-way street. But don't expect it. Don't have that expectation that I'm doing this, so somebody's going to do it for me. Don't have that expectation. Humko khali karm karna hai. The rest is up to the universe. It will come back in manifold if it has to. So that's.
Thank you for that wonderful tip. So, ma'am, now that you have walked this path, you have given back so much emotionally, energetically to others, and you have inspired so many people around you, like how we have been speaking. So, what would you tell someone who is starting their journey, right? Maybe fresh, maybe after a huge breakdown in life, or making a bold move in life, right? What would you tell them? At least like 3 simple things from your journey. Like very, not the the things that we read in books,
Right.
nothing like that, but something raw from within that you would tell them.
So I used to wear a little mantra band on my wrist which said 4 simple words, 5 simple words. All I need is within me. Right? And I think that is so powerful because if you believe in yourself, things will work out. Right? You will be able to achieve what you need to do. But you have to believe in yourself. So the first thing I tell people is believe in yourself and be who you are.
Be who you are.
Because that's so important in how you look at things and how people respond to you. Because you can make out when somebody is trying to be someone that they are not. So be yourself.
Yeah.
Remember, all you need is within yourself.
Within yourself. And not to put
And
up
don't
an
give up.
image.
Yeah. and don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't
Yes,
give up.
Yes, yes.
Be open to people reaching out and helping you, and reach out and help others.
Yes.
Give someone a chance,
Yeah.
because somebody will give you a chance. And when that chance comes, take it.
Take it.
Take
So, Ma'am, with what you shared, the one thing that comes to my mind is that it's my life experience is that universe always gives you through the ways that you have never expected that it is possible. Like things show up that way and you're like, oh, this was also an option.
Yes.
So yes, as you rightly said that, when you believe in yourself and not have a back door, things start showing, like how the famous quote of Alchemist, which is another favorite book of mine by Paulo Coelho, is that when you
really wants
really want something, the universe conspires it for you. Awesome. So, my next question to you now is that manifestation isn't magic. Like as I shared, being an energy healer and emotional health coach for like past 15 years, people do have a misconception that manifestation is like pulling out of thin air, using colored pens and tools and all of that, doing affirmation. Yes, they do help. But like you said, the root essence is believing in yourself, because it's you who create, and these are just amplifiers that help you out. So like they say, manifestation isn't any magic. It's a resonance with your own vibration. So like energy first, and then the reality gets created. So what would you like to share about the power of choice? Since I know that, since we have started talking, one key thing that I could make out of the entire journey that you have shared is that no matter what it takes, no matter how it looks like, for you it has been, okay, I'm having this, I'm choosing this, I'm creating this, right? And it has, by God's grace, by universe thing, it has always...
Don't make it all I.
But that power of choice, and most of the people, they don't realize that they have that power to make a choice, because they misinterpret choice with doing.
Yeah. You have the choice to decide what you really want the outcome to be. And once you made that choice that, yes, I am going to make this happen, the outcome and the how you're going to do it will come. Right? You need to be clear that this is where I want to go. The path will open up. But you have to believe in it. If your belief is not as strong as it should be, no matter how many tantras, mantras, anything you do, it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Right? That energy can only be enhanced when you put your energy in.
Correct.
Right? When you keep your focus on what needs to be done. And sometimes in life, it's very easy to say, that's it, I can't do it.
Yes.
And the path that you choose is sometimes very, very tough. And it seems impossible. But if that determination is there, it can happen. It can happen. You look at the stories of so many people around. They've achieved so much, even when everybody else said, nahi kar sakte, they do it. And why? Because those paths open, because they believe in themselves. Right? So make that choice.
Just choose.
Choose joy. Choose strength. Choose belief. And it will happen.
It will open.
Yeah.
The path.
But remember, when we make these choices, we also have to take that right action.
Yes.
It cannot be without
Actions.
So if you choose it, be ready to action it.
Action it.
Yes.
And also, I think at the same time, like how you mentioned before, like you should have an attitude of never quit, never give up.
Yeah.
And, never, don't be willing, like to fail.
Yeah. Failure is not an option.
Yes, there's no
But
option.
that's the other thing. Sometimes what we consider a failure is not really a failure. It's a stepping stone to the next part. But things happen. We get so upset with what has happened. We think it's time to give up. We failed. I'm not good enough. I can't do it. And we pull ourselves back, right? And we think we are not worthy of whatever the next step is.
Self-worth is yes, ma'am.
And
It's a real
sometimes
big
it's
concept.
not a failure. It's just telling you, you just need to change your path. You just need to rethink how you're doing it. That's all. It's not a
There's a
failure.
bigger picture.
Yes.
Yeah.
So be ready to embrace that too.
Yes, always look at the bigger picture, right? Great. So thank you. Thank you so much for sharing, wonderful experience and wonderful stories and your journey. It's so inspiring, and I'm really glad that I chose to do a podcast with you because it has been an eye-opener for me. It has been an inspiration for me that never give up, just think differently, go around and, something will pop up all the time.
It's like the river.
Yeah.
Even if that boulder's in its path, it goes around.
It goes around.
So find that path for yourself.
Part for yourself. And being in allowance, like how we say in Access Consciousness, being in allowance and at the same time not having any point of view about it. Okay, what is it trying to teach? So, ma'am, one last question is that how did you find this entire being me experience, being on this podcast?
It's actually been very fascinating. While speaking to you, I've discovered things about myself and it's made me think about some of my life and what all I've been through. And it's insightful even for me to go through this. And of course, you've been a wonderful host and our team here is so amazing. So thank you so much to everybody. Thank you, everyone. It's really been absolutely awesome.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. And it's such an honor. And I hope this podcast, I'm very sure this podcast is gonna help and inspire people a different story that we have shared today to step up, to choose something greater, and to believe in themselves by not giving up on themselves. So thank you so much. And I hope this episode really inspire you to be who you are. Thank you so much.